Can't do it anymore.
Let's go to Christina Wong. Is funny in her own right. Go to ChristinaWong.com.
Oh, this is
Christina,
fun.
welcome to the show. Where do you live? You live out in Los Angeles, do you?
I'm in Los Angeles.
I live in Santa Barbara, where there are no blacks or Asians. We have no blacks, no Asians. And,
I don't think that's true. I think there are
that's true.
Few, but
No.
But it is very white. It is super white.
Well, very white. Very white. And I will tell you something else, and people didn't think I was going to say this. I have never, ever been attracted to an Asian woman on any level whatsoever, except this friend.
Well, thank you. Nice to meet you too, Jay.
Now, why is that you are
Jay,
upset?
You got to say no offense before.
Why are you upset when white guys get turned on by Asian women? Why do you call yourself or people call you the bane of white men with Asian fetishes? Why does it upset you?
Well, I think for me, let me set some context. I wrote a blog on XOJane called 9 Whack Things Said by Asian Fetish Guys in Denial. And what that essay really was an essay about understanding white privilege and men who have a long history of dating Asian women but seem to not be able to articulate where that preference is coming from. And
where is it coming from? Where's it coming from?
It's coming from white privilege. It's about not being able to talk about race, and
all right.
And this is which I think is something that is a very uncomfortable topic.
I have no interest in leaving my race at all. None. I have black friends.
I'm not trying to get
Asian friends. No, but what I'm saying is, in fact, I'm dark complexioned and am mostly Sicilian and everything else. And I only have dated and married in my life these really lily white, kind of waspy looking women. That's my fetish, and I can get away with that. But I'll tell you something. As soon as I'm in a group of exotic women and they realize that I'm not interested in
exotic. Why? Who's exotic?
Wild looking with the almond-shaped eyes and all that. They go crazy if you're not interested in them. They go nuts.
They all go crazy.
So you want me to just
not off
look at you,
here, Jay.
Christina Wong, and look at you and go, what a beautiful Asian woman. But I'm not supposed to just say what a beautiful, I mean, you have lovely skin, beautiful eyes, and so appreciate that you're from a culture that's beautiful to certain people. I mean, white people are boring, so it's fun to see a person with different colored skin and stuff. It's fun for us, you know. I have dark skin, so I'm attracted to white people. I'm just saying,
I think she's just letting Jay hang himself.
Oh, okay.
I'm not hanging myself.
I'm
done.
Are you done, Jay?
I'm done now.
Okay, good. Is this like a 3-hour show where you talk like this for 3 hours?
I do.
Yes.
And then we say fuck, shit, piss, cunt, and motherfucker also.
That's great.
Thank you.
That's great. So you're telling me you've got black friends, huh?
Well, my wife's black.
Right,
my wife's black. We're not friendly. My wife's black, but we're not that friendly.
I don't understand. You said you've been married.
My wife is black, but we're not that friendly. I have a black wife.
Okay.
Hello. That's, I did everything in my career so that I could talk. Like Kevin is gay. Kevin is gay and he works with us. I have surrounded myself with every nationality. I have married every type of woman so that I could joke about it. Had a Jewish wife, we joked about that. A black wife, I joked about that. Had a Hispanic wife, I joked about that. So I just make sure if anybody tries to, say, hey, how dare you? I go, well, really? I'm married to one.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between nationality and ethnicity?
I don't know.
Yeah, nationality is where your passport's from, and ethnicity is your country where your ancestors are from.
Right.
So you just said you married people of different nationalities or have friends of different nationalities. So do you go to different countries and those are the friends you're keeping? I don't understand when you say
Well, I don't. I just think everybody's really different, and I like that we're all different, and I don't think we ought to all be homogeneous. And
what about if somebody just was like some guy was just attracted to you, and it just really didn't have anything to do with you being Asian? You were, they just liked you for who you were. Is that,
for who you are.
Yeah, fine. I feel like you're jumping into this conversation out of context, and you've not said any context
me
for
or
where
him?
these statements. You guys, I feel like you're putting this on me that I said something that I didn't say, and I'm not comfortable with in this conversation if you're going to jump into the middle like this.
It says here that you think that white guys who like Asian
what
women.
Are you looking? Tell everyone what you're looking at.
I'm looking at the notes that we put together by searching. You put a fake mail order bride website up to expose men that liked Asian women, and I looked at that and I went, why? What's wrong with that? So I don't know. That's my first question.
I need a hold for a second. Hold on.
Sure. How's this going, Christina?
I have never been more horrified in my life.
Really?
And
Why?
I felt better during the Kevin Bacon interview.
Why? This is smooth. This is like yogurt.
Oh, God.
Not lump.
Well, because
what do you
when
think?
Kevin Bacon was here, I wasn't booking the guests. That's why.
When I go up on stage and things aren't happening, I know immediately that the crowd hates me.
Yeah.
This is what you're going through right now.
Well, I'm going to go all the way back to the front. I'm going to apologize.
Okay, good.
I'm going to start the interview all over again.
All
right. I'm glad she's on hold. I'm glad
this is from the L.A. Times bio that she links on her page, front page and stuff.
I don't think I've taken a breath in 11 minutes.
Okay. Hold on. Garrett, you know what's good? Christina, are you back yet? She's not back yet.
I don't know if she's ever going to come back.
Oh, she's going to come back. I think she killed herself.
I think she wants to kill Jay.
I'm glad that she's put us on hold. Now, her one-woman show is called Wong Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, about suicide and depression of Asian American women.
Why don't you confirm that with her before you start jumping in?
I will.
And start asking questions.
What's going on now?
Okay. All right, here we go.
She came back.
All right. You know what? I'm glad you put us on hold because I am going to apologize.
Yes.
My group has told me to apologize to you, and I asked Garrett, who puts together all the notes. He said he got this from the Los Angeles Times that was linked in to your website and to your blogs and stuff about you being the bane of white men with Asian fetishes. So here's my question. Why is that bad?
Why is what bad?
White men with Asian fetishes.
Okay, the word I'm looking for is I'm trying to engage in a conversation about white privilege, and I think that if someone is specifically pursuing Asian women because they're Asian and are not having conversations about privilege and difference, then it's not. Then what is that relationship rooted in? It's also just really annoying to be an Asian woman. And
what about women that are attracted to funny guys? Like any woman that ever went out with me is
that's a characteristic. That's not race and culture.
So when I hear someone talk like you, it sounds like somebody did something awful to you when you were young and you can't recover from it. I mean, some white person did something to your family or to you, and I don't. I mean, listen. My doctor is Korean. I go to a Korean doctor. I wouldn't walk in for 1 minute and I think, Jesus, he's a Korean. I have to make it. So I don't know. I mean, I know he's Korean. But what I'm saying is,
how do you define racism?
I don't know. I mean,
well, maybe we can start there. Let's have a conversation about.
You define race because you look at people and they're a different color than you are, or a different shaped head or eyes or whatever, and we're different, and that difference needs to be embraced.
It needs to be embraced, but I think we also need to understand who's not being embraced, right, in the equation, or what our standards of beauty are. As an American world, that why are certain races considered more attractive than others, right?
Okay. Well, there are lots of guys that get turned on by Asian women. I know that. I know those fetishes, and I know that. But then if the Asian woman goes for the white guy, then what problem is it of any of ours?
Who do you feel has the power in this country? Like, what do you think that this country was founded on?
Pilgrims, white. You're right. Yeah.
So racism is not. It's not. Prejudice is one thing. When
there has been racism. There has been racism and culturism since Neanderthals roamed the earth.
Okay,
and
so
they will never change.
It doesn't make it okay. It's just that's just a fact.
Kevin is gay and he's discriminated against. As an Italian, as a Sicilian guy, when I went to school in Panama City, Florida, I was discriminated against because in the summer my skin got really, really black, and when I ran for student government or whatever, they said all kind of stuff to me and everything else. Okay, that's just the way it was. It was too bad, but Jimmy Leach was really white, and his dad was rich. Yeah, and he won the election. I didn't. Yeah.
So does that mean that tomorrow? Are you saying? So you've said that you've experienced things unfair. Would you want to wake up tomorrow in the body of a black person?
Well, no, not if I was discriminated against. I think that would be sad for me, but I would have to try and deal with it. Certainly would have to try and deal with it. You know?
So what I'm getting at is that it's uncomfortable to have conversations about privilege and race, and it becomes a very defensive thing, which is what I think you're doing right now, is that you're going, well, I had a tan and it was hard to run for Senate.
If I was black or Asian, I will be, and I've said this on the air before, and I was discriminated against, I would leave that country. And I would go where I'm not discriminated against. That's me personally.
So where would that be for a person?
I don't know. I would go and live in a neighborhood where I wouldn't be discriminated against, because that's how I deal with things. I don't, I'm not going to go
away from an issue rather than address it.
No, I'm going to go where my like kind are, where I can feel comfortable, where I can feel terrific. Like, I don't live in the Hispanic neighborhood of my town, but if I was Hispanic, that's where I would live. I'd live there. That's all. You're asking me what I would do? I think that's what I would do.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to paint for you a picture of like that you have a certain white privilege as a white man. Like, regardless of
not when you have a vowel for a last name, or people think you're Jewish and you have dark skin. I don't get the same breaks as a white guy. Never did. As a lily white guy, no way.
So can you imagine how the breaks that you're not going to get as a person who is Asian or black coming to this country and constantly, like for me, what I experience is what's called the perpetual foreigner. That my family.
It's never gonna change, and I feel badly.
Well, it is going to change. I mean, things are changing. And what is your show about? Is this what your show is about? Trying to help people change?
Your one-woman show, Wong Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. What is that about?
That had to do with the high rates of depression and suicide among Asian American women. Asian American women have some of the highest rates of depression and suicide in this country. And it's one thing to say, like, we're all one, let's embrace diversity. But what if you look at statistics in health across race, especially mental health, there's a disproportionate number of Asian Americans and people of color who are affected by mental health. And a lot of it has to do with access to therapy or mental health, but also culturally how things are like depression is totally stigmatized.
And how is depression dealt with in the Asian community? Is it dealt with differently than in other communities across the land?
It's definitely more stigmatized to admit that something is wrong with you and to admit fault. It is not part of Chinese American culture, at least I was growing up, to go pay someone to listen to your problems. There's a lot of misinformation about if you see a therapist, you could lose your immigration status or you could lose a job, and that's not all true. So while there are differences that we should embrace, it's also differences that we need to look at and address specifically. So
what kind of a message? What's the message that you're trying to bring to this audience today?
Acceptance, right? You want us to look at you and us as all the same people.
Are you going to answer my questions for me? Because if you're going to answer my questions for me...
No. I'm that's a question. You're looking for acceptance.
Because you're just so loud. And
Okay.
I'm trying to have conversations that are difficult.
Is acceptance not what you're... I'm sorry that I answered for you. My question is it acceptance? Question mark. For everybody. That we're all the same.
Acceptance. No, we're not all the same. It's about having really difficult conversations about what is making us different. And it's about, I don't think we can just go and just be la-di-da like, embrace difference. It's so beautiful. I had Chinese food yesterday. Yay. Like, that's not.
Then what are you trying to say? What are you trying to tell us?
Yeah, I haven't heard. You know what?
Point?
The reality is, I'm an amateur anthropologist, but throughout time, assimilation is what caused people to accept each other. The United States is a great example of it. Your Asian children, my dad was English and German. My mother was Sicilian. That's assimilation. Hispanics going with African Americans, and the next thing you know, at one point, we all start looking more alike. And that's really how it'll shake out eventually in the United States.
You can talk to a lot of mixed race people. That's not where problems end. The problems don't end when everybody looks the same. I mean, we still are living in the aftermath of a white patriarchy. There's still a lot of racism that persists that people.
You got a thing about whites, and that's very insulting to me as a person that you consider a Caucasian. You're really insulting, incredibly insulting. How dare you say there's something wrong with white people? Well, I mean, really, if I said there's something wrong with Asians, you would go batshit fucking nuts. How dare you say there's something wrong with white people? How dare you?
What did I say was
There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me or Kevin or Christina or Garrett. And you come on this show and go white privilege and all that. You're absolutely 100% with all of your degrees from UCLA incorrect.
Oh, I am. How is that?
You are. You have met some minority of white people that have done something to you, and you're wrong. You're wrong. I've never discriminated against an Asian, a black person. Neither is Kevin. Neither is Christina. Neither is Garrett.
Let me speak, Jay.
Well, why don't you? What is your point?
You've been speaking. Who fucked you up? Tell me. What white guy did what to you, or your dad or your mom? That's why you're angry. Go get that person. Not us. We didn't do shit to anybody. Yeah, go get him. Who did it? There's got to be one person that caused you or your family trouble, or you wouldn't be talking like this. You know that.
Look in the mirror. It was you, Jay Thomas.
It isn't me. It isn't me. I've never done anything.
I'm angry right now, Jay.
I'm angry because you insulted me as a Caucasian, and I'm not going to allow it.
Oh, wow. Well, maybe you should suck your own dick.
Charlie of Dallas, you've been listening.
Ever.
What do you think?
She hung up.
Oh, she hung up.
Yeah, listen, I kind of get where you're coming from, Christina, but you need to hang it up, babe. You know,
she hung up.
No,
she hung
she's
up.
Gone. And it's getting confusing here when the guest is also named Christina.
Christina, you know what?
Yes.
Let me tell you something.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you something. No, you know what, Christina? She was. I read all of her blogs and all, and she's supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
But the fact that she comes on and says that white people have done, and I'm thinking, well, who did it? Kevin, have you ever discriminated against an Asian person or a woman or a man?
Probably. Yes.
Oh, you have? All right. Well, why don't you jump in there when I said that then and say
it was very nerve-wracking here in the studio.
Why?
I don't know. I was hiding in the corner, and none of you can see me. I don't know. It's just so
Hold on a minute. Suppose a guy came on and said, how dare these Italian women, blah, blah, blah. That's an insult to you.
Look, I'll tell you, from the beginning of the interview.
It started off on the wrong foot. I don't think she knows or understands you and where you're coming from.
I opened up with the truth. I have never been turned on by an Asian woman. I am not turned on.
She took offense to that immediately.
Why?
And then told you to suck your own dick.
Yeah. No, but that's what she hates.
Which if you could do.
White guys. She hates that white.
Do that.
That was a funny send-off, though. I mean, she really got you.
Oh, that was great. I loved it. By the way, I want you to email her and tell her thank you very much. It was one of the greatest interviews we've ever had, and she's welcome back anytime.
She's welcome back.
Yeah. Charlie, didn't you love that interview?
Oh, my God.
I did. You know, I was getting a kick out of it.
Tell her we liked our interview, but we were hungry for more of it 8 minutes later.
Yeah. Charlie, did you hear what Garrett said?
Oh, my God.
Oh,
He said we loved the interview,
Garrett.
but we were hungry for. By the way, Christina, make that from me. We loved the interview, and we were hungry for it for more of it 8 minutes later. Say that's from Jay. Oh, no. Say it's from Jay. Or Garrett.
Garrett, you do it from our
Charlie,
please.
That's the greatest fucking line ever. Charlie of Dallas, thank you.
I have to block this woman and her publicist now.
No, you don't.
Oh, I don't like confrontation, and that's exactly what this is.
I got nervous. I didn't know what was happening. Ira just came in the room. I thought we were being attacked by the Chinese.
Donnie of Detroit, did you enjoy the interview with the Asian lady just now?
My God. I got a job at the old lady house.
Yeah.
And you get to clean them, and I realized how sexy I was because when I changed their britches, they're always soaking wet.
Yes, they are. All right, Donnie, thank you very much. Amelia from New Jersey. Yes, Amelia, go ahead.
Hi, Jay. I found her to be so obnoxious, and she had an attitude from the minute she got on the phone.
Yes, she did.
And all she did was yell and scream, and if she's trying to make a point, that's certainly not the way to make a point.
And who puts a live radio show on hold in the middle of your interview?
Well, that actually
she had the DSL guy coming up.
Oh, who cares? But that really that got us to focus, though. So that was good for us. It did.
No. It was a timeout. It was a time. That was really a great to the sideline, and you straightened us out.
Absolutely, Jay. That was great.
It was timeout. I went to the sideline, and Bonheim straightened us out, Garrett.
Very good.
Yeah. All right, Amelia. And I don't want to be rude, but I said to her, somebody did something to you or your family. Who was it? And I wanted her to say, we lived in a place and these white people discriminated against us. And I wanted to say, well, it's not us. We didn't do it. Somebody injured her. Somebody injured her.
Obviously.
Right or wrong?
Or she's
Amelia,
been told.
There's a reason why you have a dislike of something or other. Sometimes people
I just don't think she got off on the right foot, and she her message probably usually is probably a good message, where she wants us all to get basically to get us all for us to get along and not to discriminate and say, oh, you must never be from China because you look Chinese, and that's like annoying. She probably grew up here in the States and knows just about as much about China as we do.
So you know what I hear? You want to hear what I hear, Amelia? I hear a Chinese woman that kind of wishes she was white.
Well, Jay, next week is the Lunar New Year.
Really? Chinese New Year?
Right.
Amelia, it's Chinese New Year next week.
The year of the horse, right?
Amelia, thank you very much. Thanks for talking. Thanks. John of Brooklyn, what did you think of that woman?
How you doing, John?
Just up here, John.
Make excuses for her. She had a chopstick up her ass. She was so sick.
She had a chopstick up her ass. Oh, that's bad. We can't.
And here comes the racism.
No. What? Christina, you
I'm horrified right now. You don't even understand.
Why? Why are you horrified?
My skin is not thick enough for this.
It's not like George Clooney was on here and
Listen,
no, but wait a minute.
If these people didn't have my direct cell phone number, I wouldn't give a shit.
But Christina,
I don't get bitched out because we're a bunch of racists.
Just say we're not. Hang up on her. Who's Christina Wong?
She told me to suck my own dick, for Christ's sakes. Are you nuts?
Listen, I don't know.
I want to see her one-woman show. Is she still doing the one-woman show? Because it didn't seem to be...
By the way, do you know why she's doing the one-woman show? No one else will go on stage with her.